I'm a huge admirer of yours. I think for what you stand for,
Thank
it's
you.
an absolute revelation. I've been researching about you and what you stand for. It's truly amazing. But first of all, how's been your association with Netflix for this wonderful?
Quite a different experience, actually. I see that the director and the whole crew felt a lot more relieved and liberated when they had the independence to the freedom that they had to shoot whatever they felt they could and not have it being censored and all of that. So I think there was a lot of freedom around the sets, and that was very different.
All right, and you have someone like Prakash Raj who stands literally for freedom in a way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of your
Intimidated. The word I would say is intimidated. When
why
I
is that?
walked into the set, I was very scared. No, because he already had that aura of the dad.
Hmm.
He walked into the set as the dad. I came in as myself. I said, hi, hello. He was already very strict and staring at me and all of that. So he was already in character. I was yet to
Right.
sink in. So it started off right there.
So it has been a very interesting year for all of us.
Yeah.
And now Netflix is something that a lot of people all across the country and the world they've been consuming
Mm-hmm.
um, OTT platforms, and Netflix is mirroring that in many ways as well. How do you look at this new phenomenon, the way people are consuming their entertainment in altogether new manner at their own convenience?
I think we've just come to realize how important media is for our lives. Because as
Right.
much as we love the state of mind we are in, to always make us feel better to go through an emotion, we need movies. So even if there were no theaters open, we had so much good content coming in that it kept us going through all those hard times. And yeah, so I think I realized how blessed I am to be part of this side of art. Yeah.
So what all did you watch in the last say 8 months?
Quite a lot of films. Actually, one which I loved was Capernaum. There's this
Mhm.
film. So that one hit hard. So I think that would be my personal favorite from whatever I'd watched. That's the thing which came up to my head.
When it comes to this short film of yours, it's part of four films coming together. What was there in the writing of this particular short film that really attracted you?
Vetriman sir actually didn't give me a full-fledged script. He only told me that it was going to be for 30 minutes, and this was the line. It's about a dad and a daughter, and the conflict and the trauma that takes place after a series of events. So this is all I was aware of, and I didn't have the dialogue version yet. And I'm someone who likes to be prepared before I go into the set, so I felt very uncomfortable before I got in. But after I went there, I felt glad because it gave me a very different perspective. Because if I was already aware of what was happening, I wouldn't have been virgin to that particular location and that particular emotion. He told me exactly what I was going to do a few minutes before. I was aware of the whole script, but what happened during that scene came right then and there. So I was there in that moment. I didn't have anything practiced already. So whatever emotions came forward was as raw as it came out of me. So and that way, I think this was one of the most mm, raw performances I've done after Kali. I did a film called Kali with Dulkar. It's a Malayalam film. I think in
Sure.
that I was this vulnerable. I think after that I put myself out there just for this because I wasn't prepared. I wasn't aware of what I might be, what might come at me. So
How different is it to work in a film which is say 30 minutes long compared to a full-fledged feature film?
oh yeah. Actually, I haven't been part of an anthology or a short film before for me to be aware of it, of the impact it might create. But then I never thought, even for a second, that it might not be as powerful as a feature film because it was Vetrimaran sir who was doing it. I was pretty confident about that, but I always was worried in the location because it takes you a while to sink into a particular character. I've always done films which were say 80 days, 150 days. But now I had to shoot something for 8 days and go through these emotions, own it by that time. So I felt that was very quick for me. And I came to realize that it wasn't hard, but the results were phenomenal because I worked with such a team. I worked with a team which owned up the whole environment, the whole world immediately from day one. Prakash sir turned out to be the dad and the one who gained my trust. But then in the end, I'm betrayed by my father. So he played that in the rawest form possible. And Vetrimaran sir kept prepping us in between shots. He would talk about what happened around the world, and it would be a very personal conversation. He would talk to me about how girls had a future, they had everything planned, but then suddenly another person's intrusion might change the whole thing for them. So he would quote real life incidents, and that didn't make us go, say, even between shots, I don't remember eating when we shot, because I was always there in that environment, and we shot throughout. So those 8 days was packed. Even after I was done shooting for the film, I carried that burden for quite a while. It was pretty traumatic. Yeah.
You wanted to pursue your medical degree, and you gave a film for a while, and you went ahead and completed your course. And why was it important for you to just complete your education?
I did my first film in my fourth year. So when it released, it was around the fifth year. But I was very clear in my head that I wanted to continue medicine. But then, so I waited for a year to do my next film. And then I came to realize that I had a passion for cinema that I wasn't aware of. I was always a dancer. I didn't think that I liked this side of art. So I came to realize that I had this in me and I wanted to go ahead and do it. That's why I waited to finish my course and then start this journey. And I'm pretty sure that after I'm done with movies, I'm going to go back to medicine, because I like being a doctor. I like being of some use.
But you are the celebrated actress down south, especially of course all across India as well. I've seen your functions where when you come on stage, people just clap till their hands hurt, and you have this phenomenal following. But many people would give up almost anything to get this sort of adulation. But you seem to be having this. I think maybe this approach that it's more like a passion and a hobby for you, and medicine is like a full-time vocation
I
for
wouldn't
you.
say that, because maybe it was, and I didn't take it that serious when I did Premam, because I didn't expect it to do that well, and I wasn't aware of what I wanted. So maybe around that period, I was a little unaware of what I wanted to do next. But now I'm pretty clear, because along with all this love comes a lot of responsibility. Because people whom I've watched growing up, I remember seeing them and realizing, oh, maybe I should do it this way, or maybe I should live this way. So I think in a way, media has a huge influence on people. And when I'm put in this platform, I think I have a lot of responsibility to be correct myself. I never knew, I never took a side up until now. We had conversations during our short where I would say, I'm not for this or that. That time Prakash sir and Vetrimaran sir would say, no, if you're not for this, you're always for the oppressor. You're not there for the oppressed. So there are a few things which I picked up in between, where you need to also be politically educated about what is happening, because you're in this platform. You cannot end up doing, say, a role which is not right. For example, if I playing a character is different, but showing something which doesn't exist in the society is wrong. So I came to realize that I cannot take the so-called love that I'm getting right now. I cannot take it for granted, and just go about thinking of it as just another the hobby. So I don't think I'm there in that space, but I've moved on and I've become more responsible right now.
Right. So now you're someone who just walks the talk, and who actually does what you say or believe in. Like for example, you said in an interview that you have a lot of respect for actresses who don't merely consider themselves as love interests in a movie, and they want something more than that. So they
Yeah.
actually should stand up for women empowerment that they talk about in their functions and interviews
Yeah.
while they're actually doing movies. Um, that's a wonderful statement to make. To be more than merely a love interest of a hero in a film.
Hmm. No, but that's a personal choice. I've few of my friends prefer films like that because they have a different journey. Each actor has a very different journey. People get there at a different time. People have different emotions when they shoot a particular film. I can talk for myself. I can talk about my journey. I do have a lot of respect for women who actually stand up and say that this is something which I wouldn't want to do. And it's always right, I think, for us to have a healthy conversation. And I've been blessed to work with a team and directors who always wanted to have a healthy conversation, who were okay with inputs. And when you own up, when you take up a particular role, and when you give suggestions, it shouldn't come across like you're arrogant. I've worked with people who always felt happy that we gave such suggestions because it came from a place which would enhance the whole script. So I think it just cannot work one way. It also needs to be accepted by the director, and in that way I think for example director Shekhar Kamula, he's phenomenal. There are things that I didn't know that I should do. There were times in the set where he would say, I think you should just put your foot down and not show up in the sets today if you are not being treated this way. He's a director of the film, and he gave the actor, he said that you shouldn't come to the set if you're treated that way. That's where you stand. So you shouldn't think that you shouldn't just give an excuse for their behavior, and you shouldn't do that to yourself. I was always in a very, I was always this very subtle and very delicate person. So when he gave me a lot of thought about how I should be treated in this industry or in an environment which is always, I wouldn't say male dominant, but it's always used to being this way. So you need to create your space. So he was the one who educated me. He's a man, and he educated me about how I should go about, and it's not wrong for you to ask for your rights. So it cannot be just one way where I fight for something. You need to have someone who respects you in return. So it's always it's vice versa. It works this way.
You earn a lot of respect and admiration when you said no to a fairness cream ad that was worth 2 crore rupees, and all across the world, people have really been talking about that. Now, that is what is called actually standing up for what you believe in. And that's a lot of money.
But I think I've always been this very simple person. Money hasn't been something that I'm drawn to, but it's another personal choice, because I know friends who I cannot blame them for any. I can't blame anybody for their choices. But when you look at a greater population of people who are affected by few choices that we make, I think that's when I have to take a stand. I know friends and family who've always been compared and made to feel little less because of their skin color or those beauty standards that we've created in this society. And oh, why am I talking like it's a alien person? It's me. Even before Premam, I would apply 100 creams. I would have so much acne. I put myself through so much. I wouldn't want to leave home. I would just stay at home thinking that, oh, people just keep looking at my pimples and they talk. They don't look into my eyes. So I had problems about that. I had serious issues. But after Premam, they accepted me with all of that. They liked me more. And I saw how much it influenced children or the young teens, whoever felt that, oh, she's been liked though she has these on. So that made me feel a lot more powerful. So in that way, I was glad that they were able to connect to me, and I wanted to give back whatever they gave to me. They made me feel confident about myself, and I think in return it was my duty to influence, not influence, but at least make them feel like they're not alone in this. So yeah, that's why and it's not like I had everything figured out from the beginning. It's not like I came into the industry thinking this is what I stand for, this is what I'm going to do. I go because of I just go through I think this is comfortable for me. I would like to do this because I've seen my sister go through a lot. I'm a tone fairer, and sometimes my sister wouldn't eat vegetables and fruits. So my mom would say, if you eat them, you'll grow fair. So she would eat something that she didn't like just to grow fair. So that used to hurt me because I had someone at home who did what she didn't like to grow fair. And it kind of hurt me, and I thought I need to stand up for that. I need to, at least for my sister's sake. Otherwise, what do I do with all that money if I don't give her some sort of solace? So yeah, it was a personal choice.
Talking about discussions, there's also this discussion right now in I think all the industries, be it South as well as Bollywood, about the portrayal of women in movies. what is your opinion on it? Do you think that things are changing? It's becoming a more level playing field, and maybe
I,
there's more equality?
too soon for me to talk about equality because it's a mindset that needs to be. It's not on films alone, even in the sets, that things need to change. Uh, mm, but in terms of scripts, I see that a lot of better content are being better scripts and characters are written for women, or at least the ones that I'm receiving compared to what it was, or the frequency of how many I received has increased over a period of time. And again, thanks to all those senior actors, say from Bollywood, we have Deepika Padukone and all of them doing solid work. And over here down south, we have Nayanthara ma'am, and we have Anushka, and all of them who play such roles. And when people go and watch, I think producers believe that, okay, all right, so content is everything. You give a proper role, anybody would want to come and watch it, male or female, irrespective of gender. If it's good cinema, people would want to come and watch. So it took few films and a lot of it's not that we've reached here in a day. There was a lot of work done for us to come here, and I'm glad that I'm here at this point, and I think it would get better. I'm looking at it as a positive thing. Things are getting better. But in terms of what happens in the sets and the environment that we've created, I think it's going to take a while longer, because that exists everywhere. Even in our in the hospital that I worked in Georgia, I remember my gynecologist, actually, my teacher, she told me that she was as hardworking as her male counterpart, but then he was given the head of the department, and she worked really hard for it. So I used to. It's not just in that scenario. It exists everywhere, and it needs to change, but I hope it changes soon, before we're all older.
Okay, and do you think that there's an element of cultural element as well? Because the Malayalam society is maybe different from what Telugu society is, or Tamil or Kannada society, and same with, say, Mumbai culture as well. Is it
I
cultural as
think
well?
no. In Telugu, actors and actresses are pampered. I'll give you that. We are pampered, but in Malayalam, it's different. Everybody is equal.
Yeah.
You can be the cheta who gives you tea. You can be the director. You can be the producer. You just need to stand there for a while to get a chair. People don't run around the minute you walk in. So I think over there, work comes first. But here they try to make the actor feel more comfortable in that environment. So before you enter in, there'll already be a chair for you, and then you'll have to go there. You get it. So it's the amount of pampering that we get over here. But there, it's more focused on work. We come inside, you need to stand until your shot's done. So I've seen that difference. But in terms of how we treated, I wouldn't comment much, because up until now I've worked with the best of crews and all of that. I told you, Shekhar Kamula and the rest of the actors whom I worked with, they were they made sure I was comfortable. So I was never put at a spot like that. But it does exist. It does exist. And yeah, I would be able to say more if it was a personal experience, but I'm
No,
unable
absolutely.
to comment because I cannot draw it from anyone
No
else's.
problem. No problem. And I think a lot of this change that is there between the male actors and the female actors has to come from the male actors as well. Because I think they have to show magnanimity as well in many ways. Many
True.
many of them they tend to do that. Even in Bollywood, for example, we have several examples.
Yeah.
Do you think that is changing? Do you think there's some of it that is there? Do you find it refreshing and positive?
I'm working with Rana Dagupati on a film. So
Mm.
it's for Virata Parvam. And that guy is phenomenal.
He is.
I generally, on a poster, I've seen it, whether it's female oriented or it has a huge hero, but the woman has a bigger part. I've always seen the guy's name first. And then they released a poster which had mine on top. And yesterday, we just shot the scene yesterday, and he said, you know what, on the title cards, I'm going to make sure your name comes up first before mine. So this is not something that I want. I want the film to work. I want people to watch it. I want them to be drawn into a particular world. That's all I think about. But here there's a guy who goes a step forward and he says, this film is about you. I want this to be yours. So let me do that on the title card. It'll be your name first. So it takes something. It takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of you need to be so sure of how you feel and how powerful you feel that you don't need this for yourself. If it's there, if it's hers, she needs it. You don't need a guy's name forward. You don't need someone who is much more famous. So in that way, I think Rana is someone who I felt was very open, and he thinks everybody is equal. So I haven't even seen a slight tinge of him feeling that one is bigger than the other or anything. So it's a huge blessing working with him.
Even Shah Rukh Khan has decided that in all his films, the credit of the actress will be coming first, and then his name will be coming. And
That's nice.
that has happened with Deepika's name coming
Actually,
first.
we don't think about it. I think it's always such a way where I don't think about it. Okay, it's his name which comes first. It's already a given thought in your head that you just don't need your name to be there. But when it's said out loud, saying that it's yours, you need to be there, you deserve to be there. And when you don't have to fight for it, there's already someone telling you that, educating you, telling that needs to be there. It's different. The producers, everybody is shocked and they're so welcoming of that thought. And I think that's how you spread this kind of a thought. So, yeah. I'm glad that this is already existing in Bollywood.
Great.
And here we have Rana.
How would you describe your journey so far in one word?
Discovering myself.
Okay, which film of yours would you call as the biggest turning point in your career?
Fida.
If you were to spend a day with any Bollywood celebrity, who would that be and why?
The late Irfan Khan, but then I really wish I met him before. I don't know why I feel very connected to him. I've always connected to his films. So, yeah.
If you had to choose one cause to dedicate your entire life to, which cause will that be?
Being confident about yourself. I think I would want that to happen. In many ways, I think that I would want to stand for being confident for yourself, because in so many places it works. If I hadn't done medicine, I think there would have been a point where I would have wanted to do anything that came my way. Maybe I would have felt very intimidated, because now I felt confident about who I was as a person. I felt like this is not something, I don't need to put myself through pain or discomfort to be there. So I think in many ways, confidence, I think, plays a huge role in the choices you make in life. So I would want to promote that thought. Be it beauty standards or work or women wanting to be independent financially and all of that. So confidence is what I would stand for.
What is the most useful thing that this lockdown has taught you?
That I have a lot of things to change in me. I am not as good as what I think I am. I have a lot of, I think I need to change myself in a lot of ways, character-wise. Yeah.
If you were to make your Bollywood debut, which actor would you like to be cast opposite?
I haven't pictured myself in with actors. I think a good script is what I'm looking for. I don't see myself doing a film for the actor, or I don't know why I haven't imagined it yet. But I think a good script. But I've always danced for Madhuri Dixit and Aishwarya Rai songs from Sanjay Leela Bhansali's films. So maybe I might want to be part of one of his films, but then that is all. I haven't thought about actors as such.
Which celeb would you call if you need following? Advice on choosing scripts?
Parvati.
Okay, fitness lessons.
There are so many. Samantha and Deepika Padukone, Alia Bhatt. Literally everybody who puts a post on fitness, I would ask them.
Okay, which 3 celebrities would you like to go on a road trip with?
Actually speaking, I don't know a lot of people from the industry with whom I can strike a chord and go on a road trip with, so I might not know. But maybe directors, I would want to go with director Rajkumar, who has been a huge support. Rajkumar Peryasamy from Tamil industry. He did a film called Rangoon. So him and Nivin from Premam, and who else? That is all. I can only think of the 2 of them. I don't know why.
No problem. Someone from the industry whom you met only once, but he or she has left a strong impression on you.
I think I've learned a lot from this set. I've learned a lot from Prakash Raj sir and Vetrimaran sir. I've evolved as a person, and I've been exposed to a lot of things which I always turned a blind eye to. So I think in that way, I'm glad that this transition happened, and I would give both of them that.
Premam ya Fida, which is closer to your heart?
Both. I can't choose one, because Premam gave me everything. Even personally, how I feel about myself, it changed me as a person and the way I thought. And Fida gave me more confidence because I'm not the character that I did in Fida, and I didn't know if I could pull it off. I was too loud over there, and I was always scared. So for some reason, that gave me a lot more confidence to try things which I wasn't very comfortable doing. So I think that was where it started. So both are close to my heart.
What do you think boys love the most about you?
I'm hoping my smile and my hair. I'm not sure. I just hope it's the two. I don't know. And maybe my dance. Yes.
Okay, something that many actresses do so easily, but you're quite embarrassed to do it.
I think I'm socially disabled. On the network, I don't use Instagram or Twitter or anything much. I think that I think I should do that more often, communicate and put my thoughts across. But then I've always had this trouble articulating my thoughts into proper forms. So I think in that I feel a little embarrassed that others are able to do it much more easily compared to what I might want to do. Yeah.
And if you can please describe the following people in one word.
Mm-hmm.
Dhanush, if you have to describe in one word.
He's a phenomenal actor. He is a director's actor, and he has this craving for great scripts, and you can see it in him. Once he walks into the set, you will know that he is not Dhanush. You know off the set. So I think I can only think of that when I think of him.
Allu Arjun.
Great dancer.
Mahesh Babu.
He looks so freaking handsome. He has flawless skin, great hair, and I sometimes when I see his pictures, I wonder it's impossible for a person to look that perfect. His skin just shines. So I half the time zoom in and say, oh, okay. So I think he looks spotless. Yeah.
Vijay Sethupathi.
Vijay Sethupathi. Again, I think he's a great actor because any role that he does, he owns it up and he does it. He has his own flavor that he brings into the characters that he does. There will be Vijay Sethupathi in every character that you see, and it'll be so new to you every single time. You know this is what he would do, but you'll still be surprised. Even when he did Super Deluxe, I would think, okay, maybe he has this very feminine walk, maybe it's this way, but still you'll be surprised to see him pull it off in a different way. So I think he puts a part of him and he transforms into the other role. I don't know, something like that. Yes. Yeah.
Tamannaah Bhatia.
I think she's a great dancer. I find her to be a phenomenal dancer. Yeah.